Hi, I'm Ernie Medina with TRB, and today I'm joined by Brendan Arbelon, TRB instructor. And we just want to take a few minutes and talk with you a little bit about the concept of vetting your instructor. Now, we know out there in the marketplace, there's a ton of firearms instructors out there, and many of them are great, many of them are not. But the reason why we want to talk about it is we just want to give people an understanding of how to vet your instructor. And make sure that you're picking the right one for you. And by no means are we saying we are the greatest instructors out there and there's nothing better and so on and so forth. We are humble in our place in that we always strive to continually to get better ourselves, be better instructors, better shooters, better trainers, etc. So we're always consistently learning and growing. But as far as vetting your instructors, there's a few factors that you want to consider. And a lot of people put a lot of weight on their background. So do they have a law enforcement background? Do they have a military background? And things like that. That's one of the things that we see out there in the marketplace. Another thing that we see is credentialized background. So is this person credentialized by this standard, whether it be NRA, USCCA, or some other industry or, company of the like? But let's talk a little bit about background first. Now, as far as the background goes, a lot of people say, well, this person has a military background, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, what have you, or law enforcement background. And I think Brendan would attest as well, is that not all law enforcement military instructors are good instructors, right? And what would you have to say about that?
I think to phrase it properly is that not everybody in the law enforcement field and in the military field can teach. Right.
Not everybody knows how to teach.
Especially like knowing both sides of it, like working closely with both. In the Marine Corps, not everybody can shoot, right? I think it's only about 10 or maybe at least 15% of the Marine Corps that are actually the ground pounders, right? The actual dudes that are going to busting down doors. And then the rest of the guys are support staff, right? And not knocking down the support staff, but that right there, right? Because a lot of people claim military, right? And from there they can teach. And not all grunts can teach as well, right? Not all of them are able to shoot good, and not all of them able to articulate a lot of the message good. That's why you just don't go train, and I don't think you should go train based solely on their background. He was a cop before, he was in the military before, he was in the Marine Corps, he was in the Army. You need to be able to look past that facade of former whatever, and then it's not whatever, but former background, because you got to be able to actually look at the instructor from a constructive view.
Right, and then at the same time, they could be a really good shooter in whatever background they have, but they may not be the best person to convey the message or teach and things like that. At the same time, people with military backgrounds, they may not be the best shooter, but their ability to relate and teach and things like that might be awesome. So it goes both ways. Now, on the credential side, we have a lot of the heavy hitters, whether it be NRA or USCCA, and both companies are great companies. The NRA actually is one of the longest standing training institutions when it comes to firearms out there. And they pioneered the firearms training world for a long time. Now, just because a person is an NRA instructor, or similarly, somebody's a USCCA instructor, doesn't mean that they are the best instructor since sliced bread. So, I mean, we've seen really awesome NRA or USCCA instructors, and we've seen some instructors that maybe are a little lacking. So when it comes to the credential, certainly it's important to have a credential, I believe. Whether it be NRA, USCCA, post, or whatever, it's important to have a credential. What that means is that person has been formally taught or standardized in that they understand the concept of how to teach a class, how to put together a class. Now, beyond that, you want to look for somebody who can take that knowledge and then deliver a message in a way that you can understand. And a lot of times, if you can bring the two together, somebody that has a real world background, whether it be law enforcement or military, and a credentialized background as far as NRA, USCCA, or post, and bring those two together and have the ability to relate and capture the student attention span, then that's where you, the student, win. So those are the things that you're looking for. And any final parting shots?
Yeah, final parting shots is that relevancy, right? And for example, for my field, I'm decent at fighting IEDs 3 years ago, right? IEDs nowadays probably have changed, or improvised explosive devices have changed. So that's what I'm talking about, relevancy. That's why me and Ernie are always constantly training out there, because the techniques that we learned in the military, or maybe just techniques we learned 2 years ago, may not be as relevant as it is now. So that's one thing you need to vet your instructor. Does he take further on training, or does he stick with his guns, right, from something that he's learned all throughout his life, 10 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the couple things to think about with regards to vetting your instructor.